Hello, it's your buddy, it's your pal. I'm Karnak, and this is Star Wars Armada Explained. We're going to be looking at the T-Series Tactical Droid today. The T-Series Tactical Droid came out in the new starter set for the Confederate Independent Systems, or States, or whatever they're called. The droids. The T-Series Tactical Droid is an officer card. How do you know that? If you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the card, you'll see the officer icon there. If you see opposite of that, you'll see it's faction specific for the CIS. It costs 4 points. The T-Series Tactical Droid, if you look back up at its name, you'll see that it's there's no dot or bullet point in front of it, which means it's not unique. You can equip one of these cards to each ship that you have in your fleet, as long as you have the cards available to, physically equip them. We'll get into a bit about, what does that red mean there on the side with the card. So let's just read the text here. When you spend only a repair, navigate, or squadron command token to resolve a command, you may exhaust this card. If you do, resolve that command as if you had spent a dial of the same type instead. So T-Series Tactical Droid is very straightforward, but there's still just a few little nuances that some players, again, newer players, don't quite grasp or understand. For you veteran players, in a nutshell, what's T-Series Tactical Droid do? It's Piet. It's Admiral Piet in officer form. Essentially, the only change being that you can't use TAC Droid on a concentrate fire command. And it requires a little bit more to use each turn. But in terms of veteran players walking in, is there anything I should know about? Nope, everything is pretty much the same as if you had Admiral Piet. But again, we'll still explain and go over everything with the T-Series Tactical Droid. So let's break it down. How does this card work? Well, let's say we've got a Munificent here, and the T-Series Tactical Droid is equipped to this ship. And let's say it's got a squadron token on this ship as well. So let's say that it's the start of that ship's activation, and it reveals for its ship dial the concentrate fire dial. And you're like, aha, I'm going to use my concentrate fire dial. So whenever I make a ship attack, or if I attack a squadron, I can use this dial to add a die to that attack. But oh no, I need to activate some squadrons. I got some squadrons nearby. I want to activate them. I don't want to just spend my token to only activate one squadron. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend my squadron token. So you take your squadron token. You're like, I'm spending this, but as it says here on this card, when I spend only, and I'll touch on why it says that, you spend only a squadron token to resolve a command, you may exhaust this card. If you do, resolve that command as if you had spent a dial instead. So essentially, you take that token, you say, I'm spending only this token, but this card, when I exhaust it, now I treat that as a dial. The Munificents then, they have a squadron value of 3, so instead of only just being able to do the one squadron if you had spent the token, now you can activate up to 3 squadrons because you're treating that as if you had spent a dial instead. So essentially, you're resolving a concentrate fire dial and essentially a squadron command as a dial. And that's what T-Series Tactical Droid does in a nutshell. Now, when you do exhaust this card, it has a new mechanic that was introduced in 1.5. That's what the red bar is there. It has a ready cost in order to be able to use this card again. If you see at the top right, you'll see a little one direction pointing curved 90-degree curved arrow, which means that this card does not ready itself during the status phase. In order to ready this card in the status phase, you need to pay a cost of a command token. If you'll see there, it says 1, and that's the icon of just any command token. So as long as you have any command token on the ship, let's say if I had like a navigation token, you could say, you know what, it's during the status phase, it's my turn to ready a card. I'm going to spend this navigation token to pay the ready cost to ready this T-Series Tactical Droid card. Now in the next round, if I want to use this card again, now it's readied and available for me to do so. I do want to point out that, again, readying this card is in the status phase. It's during the status phase. It's not the start of the next round. It's not whenever you want. Because the reason why I'm being very specific about that, because again, you have command phase where you set your command dials, ship phase where ships and squadrons are activating and shooting each other, squadron phase where squadrons, if they weren't activated, they're activating and doing stuff. And then you have your status phase, and that's when you're like refreshing defense tokens, refreshing cards, etc. So it's only during the status phase that you can pay the ready cost to ready the T-Series Tactical Droid. If you move on to the next round and you're in the command phase, you've missed your timing window. If your opponent says, yeah, you forgot, sorry, dude, like that's technically, in the rules, you've missed the opportunity. It's called missed opportunity to ready that card. Most of your opponents, and even with a lot of players, and even myself, we forget that, oh yeah, I had to do this, and, you need to be accepting that, not everyone can remember everything all at once. And especially if no ships have activated yet, I'm pretty flexible in being like, oh yeah, I forgot too. Like let's pay some ready costs, let's get this done. But I'm just saying that in a high stakes level tournament, if you're in a top tier level tournament, your opponent doesn't have to give you this benefit. He doesn't have to allow you to ready the card because, again, you've missed the timing window. So it's a lot of give and take back and forth between opponents, for what is allowed or not allowed. But as a judge, again, just letting you know, if I ever got called to a table and it was a command phase or a ship phase and somebody said, I want to ready this card, I'll be like, what do the rules say? The rules say it's only during the status phase. So, like, that's what I have to rule because that's what the rules say. So, again, spend enough time on that. Want to make sure I was covering that. Like, the importance of remembering your timing windows. Okay. So T-Series Tactical Droid, let's touch on a few other things about this card, some specifics. So some people think that when you or use this card, some people think like if they reveal like their ship dial as a squadron dial, they then think that, oh, I can spend the squadron token and now I get another squadron dial and I can do both and I can activate 6 squadrons. Ah ha ha ha. And no, that's the rules don't allow for that. Sorry, rules specifically spell out the only way you can ever resolve a command is by a dial only, a token only, or a dial and token only. And it specifically states you can't resolve a command twice, and you also can't resolve a command as a dial plus dial, or token plus token plus token, or any combination thereof. Again, the command can only resolve in one of 3 ways: dial, token, or dial and token, and that's it. So when you're exhausting the T-Series Tactical Droid, it's because you've made the decision, I am resolving this command as a token, but this card allows me to treat it as if I had done a dial instead. Okay, so it's, and again, so you wouldn't be able to like spend the squadron token, treat it as a dial, and then somehow spend another squadron token to make it dial plus token. Again, that's not how the rules work. You've already declared I'm only spending a token. This card allows me to treat it as a dial instead, resolve as dial. Okay, I know some of this is really technical, and for new players, it's probably just going right over you. But again, I'm trying to make sure I'm explaining those little nuances. And that's T-Series Tactical Droid. So again, when you only spend a repair, navigation, or squadron command, not concentrate fire, doesn't work with con fire. But again, when you only, for those 3 commands, if you only spend the token, you can choose to exhaust T-Series Tac Droid. If you do, treat it as if you've done a dial instead. Again, not dial plus dial of the same command. You can do a dial of, again, like concentrate fire, and a dial of squadron command if they're separate commands, but again, not double dial of the same command. And again, when you change that command token, that's your resolution of that command. Again, changing that token into a dial. Okay, I think I've repeated and said all that several times already, but that's, so T-Series Tactical Droid, where do you see a lot of use for this card? I mean, it's a fantastic card, and it's just so hard to bring T-Series when you've got like Rune and Watt, who are already just like so good. It's hard to make room for these, but if you did have room for them, they're great on Munificence because they're just such great ships. You can be like, here's Confire, here's Squadron Command, or here's my ship dial, it's repair, and then I can squadron command or squad, and then you just mix match and just, boy, it's just really powerful combination. Another situation where I like to use them on is the hard cell transports because they get the 2 officer slots. So I'll throw like Rune on there with the T series, and then I'll like reveal a ship command, and I already have like a token saved, and then I spend that to do T series, and Rune gets a token, and there's a lot of flexibility there with being able to resolve different kinds of commands and things. So you kind of have to play around with it. But yeah, again, that's T series. If you feel like I missed anything or got anything wrong, please be sure to point it out. Let me know. Of course, any questions at all regarding either this card or just anything in general, please be sure to post a comment or come find me on the Star Wars Armada Discords. I'm on the main one. I'm on a bunch of other ones. But yeah, you guys are fantastic. Appreciate you watching the video, and I'll catch you next time.